Will Luigi Mangione get a fair trial? Right now, the defense is saying no. They stood up, they made an oral argument today as to why, and I'm going to break down everything that I heard in court as a courtroom insider. What's going on right now is that we are on day 6 of testimony in the Luigi Mangione suppression hearings, where the defense is arguing that the contents of the backpack that was searched in Altoona, Pennsylvania, at this McDonald's upon his arrest should be inadmissible because New York search and seizure laws should apply, because this whole case with Luigi, this is a New York case. This is what they're arguing. The state is arguing that he was arrested in Pennsylvania on a forgery charge. This had nothing to do with New York. The search happened legally, lawfully, etc., and everything should be admissible. So it's been some really, really long days, but I have to say, I truly understand why this is taking so long and why it's so important. And I think I've said this before. I can't remember if it was here or on a live stream, but truly, this could go either way, the decision of whether or not certain things are admissible or they're not. And I guess it's not just backpack contents, it's also statements that he made to the police. So again, sometimes we say, oh, it's really going to be up to the jury. Well, duh. Or we say, oh, it's really going to be up to the judge. Right. In this case, it really could go either way based on these arguments, in my opinion. It's gonna depend on Judge Caro. But I want to discuss first and foremost what happened this morning before the first witness was called. So Karen Agnifilo, she first stood up, and that's Luigi's main defense attorney, and she wanted to bring up just several evidentiary issues to the court's attention that she wanted on record. And she filed a motion 2 days prior as well. So she noted that there was some media footage dropped to the media Dropbox without their knowledge. And she said that the footage that she's talking about in particular is of the incident of Brian Thompson being shot, but it's a 2-hour video. And a bunch of us in the gallery were a little confused. We were like, wait, really? Did that already get posted? Apparently it did get posted on December 2nd, but when you went to download it, you needed like an entire other type of download tool to actually put it on your computer or get it on your computer. So only TMZ and I believe ABC were able to get this footage and then put it out to the public. Now, this footage is Brian Thompson on the ground and bystanders attempting to render aid, give CPR, the ambulance shows up, etc. And Karen Agnifilo is like, there is no reason for this to be shown. There's no rationale to be concerned or to show this at all. Like, this is very concerning to my client, and this could definitely poison a future jury. And she also said that, there was, as we played here, about 2 minutes of body cam footage that was posted on Tuesday. She's saying that some of these body cam videos and some of the incident videos, they have over 1 million views. And of course, she named TMZ. TMZ was named so many times during the Diddy trial as well. It's kind of wild. But yeah, she just went on to argue that these releases, they have consequences for Luigi, also because he's facing the death penalty concurrently in his federal case. And she spoke about this for, I want to say 3 or 4 minutes. And it was just wild to me that Judge Caro, he kind of slapped her down within 3 seconds. And he was like, well, basically, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, we'll take care of it during the voir dire. During the voir dire, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So just don't worry about it. Okay. And additionally, the state, they also submitted a motion. I posted part of this motion, and this was in response to the defense's motion about all of this footage. They were saying, well, make up your mind. You told us at one point that we could post body cam footage, certain pieces of it, and now you're saying we can't. And then the state is also saying that if they continue to release certain pieces of the body cam footage, that won't be fair to their case because it'll be touting a different narrative. So Oh my goodness, such a mess. But I wanted to just say the last, or just read to you. You know what? I'll put it up on the screen here. The last little section of the defense's motion. It's basically Karen Agnifilo saying that, yeah, I know that you keep saying the voir dire will make it all better, but that's not the case. She said a voir dire would be an insufficient cure if a large segment of the citizens in this district are exposed to the prejudicial information. Exclusion of a considerable portion of the population would skew the panel, making it more difficult to find a cross-section of the community. Jurors' assurances that they have not been influenced by media reports are not necessarily dispositive. I agree with that. I do. I feel strange saying that because I am press. I want to put information out there, but I do think that when it comes to a trial, you just don't want to give the defense or the defendant any reason to appeal. And right here, by them continuously putting this on the record and just kind of getting shot down, I just think that, yeah, it just makes a great case for the appellate courts. And you know, it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation. That's what I'll say. But anyway, on the stand today, we started off with Lieutenant Tom Hanley, and then we got to Sergeant Detective John Burns. Hanley was the highest ranking officer on the scene at the McDonald's, and then Sergeant Burns, he worked in narcotics. And so Sergeant Burns, that was we finished with him in the afternoon, but essentially he took photographs of all of the evidence that was seized from the backpack, seized from Luigi. And they made sure, he took 173 photographs, he said, and they made sure not to show us the writings in the notebook. We only saw those notes that were removed from Luigi's person. Some of them came with envelopes, with Chase envelopes, actually. But yeah, so I guess I just skipped ahead to John Burns really quick, and I'll just finish because nothing much really happened there. But it got a little confusing at the end just because the same questions are being asked kind of in different ways. And it just has to do, again, and I'm talking about mainly the cross-examination with the defense. If, he walked in and Luigi's backpack was on the ground, were there officers in between it? Yes. Well, okay. So did Luigi try to get his backpack? No. Did he try to move his backpack? No. Did you guys try to move it when you all said that you were nervous and scared of the situation? No. So I think the whole point here is they're again trying to determine. It's been a long day. Okay, I always say that on these videos because I'm doing them at the end of the day after my brain is so fried. But they're trying to determine whether the backpack was at a grabbable distance from Luigi so they can say, yes, this search was unlawful or this was lawful. And that's part of this case law that they keep citing, which I need to get the transcript and I can tell you guys the case law. So I will do that. I promise I'll do that. Yeah. So then back to Hanley. Hanley was pretty standard. So he, again, is the supervising officer. He was the one who texted Detweiler and said, I'll buy you a hoagie if you catch the New York City shooter. And actually during the cross-examination, Karen Agnifilo was like, so you texted him this because you heard him over the 911 dispatch. You heard him answer this call and he seemed like he was sarcastic a little bit, like, oh yeah, we'll get right over to the McDonald's to catch the shooter. And you texted him because you testified during direct that you wanted to ensure he answered this seriously. He took it seriously when it comes to the New York City shooter. And Hanley's like, yes. And she's like, and you used a wink emoji when you sent it. It was just funny. Not important, but funny. So, yes, he decides to go over there because he is the supervisor. He goes over there when he hears that they cannot find a match over the dispatch for the Mark Rosario ID. So while he's on his way there, he tries to call a New York City emergency service line. He can't get through. He finally does get through, and we actually go through his entire call log, which generally indicated that he first made this call to New York at 9:30. He didn't get a call from a homicide detective until about 10:25. So it did take New York City about 55 minutes to actually respond to him. Again, he says, they ask him, did you tell Officer Wasser that she can search the bag? Did you indicate they need a search warrant? He says, no, I didn't tell her. She was doing her job. He got arrested. She searched the bag. Did she need a warrant? No, it's a, search incident, search incident to arrest. Yes, that's what it is. So again, more of the same. There was a couple spicy moments. I felt like, they're asking him to identify all the photos of the suspect from the NYPD Crime Stoppers freezes, and Karen Agnifilo got up to object, like, we've seen all these, and Caro's like, just let him show the photos. It was like, whoa, okay. And then there was another point when I thought it got a little spicy because the state is showing the backpack search again, and this time it's at the station at intake. And we see the red notebook, and someone in the background is saying, "Oh, a manifesto." And the state rewound this part because they claimed they wanted to, they were pointing out something else, but they must have rewound it about 3 or 4 times. And finally, Karen Agnifilo stands up and she's like, "Your Honor, like, they're just rewinding this so we hear the word manifesto said over and over." It was spicy. And Seidemann always, he always has something to say. He's always ready for it. But yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow in court to hear more Christmas music played on the body cam at the McDonald's. And yeah, I believe we are set to wrap hopefully by next Friday. I'm hearing maybe the state will be finished with their witnesses by Monday evening, maybe Tuesday. We'll see, but stay here at Los Angeles Magazine for all of the coverage on Luigi. And it is kind of ironic that we are Los Angeles, although I am the East Coast representative, contributor, reporter. So you have me for all of this. But anyway, I'm Lauren Conlin. Thanks so much for listening, guys.